Hello, I'm Dr. Sharon Grossman. I'm a psychologist, speaker, and coach, and today I'm going to talk to you about the high achievers mindset. So, are you somebody who's always striving to do more? Do you feel like you are compelled to really drive yourself and have very high levels of accomplishment? If so, you might be one of these high achievers that we're going to be talking about today. And what we want to really understand is what drives that behavior. So just like with anything else, what I always say is that the thing that really drives our behavior is our belief. And in this case, we're talking about a belief that maybe you're just not good enough. Now, I know that this might sound a little bit unlike what you might expect, but think about this for a moment. If you're somebody who constantly thinks that you're not doing enough, or that the work that you're doing is not good enough, really that's just focusing on your production. And the truth is that when we're focused externally on something that we're doing not being enough, it's really a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. So take a moment and see if maybe this really fits for you. If you feel like what you're doing is not enough, do you also on some level believe that you're just not good enough? There's this feeling of inadequacy that often drives this focus on production. And so what we try to see is if the person feels that they're inadequate on some level, then they try to overcompensate by doing more. And what this leads to is a sense of insecurity, which then brings up the imposter syndrome, where you feel like, I know I'm inadequate, but I don't want other people to find out. So I'm going to quote unquote fake it till I make it, or I just really don't want people to really know the truth about me. And so I try to do good work and I try to please other people and I try to put on an impression that I have my stuff together. This actually leads you to feeling maybe more judgmental of yourself, maybe more worried about people finding out and being vulnerable. And so this maybe leads you to isolate a little bit more and feel maybe ashamed of yourself. And so let's talk about what you can do to really make a shift in this. Well, first and foremost, if you believe that you're not enough, then one of the recommendations is to work on changing the belief. And one of the ways that you can do that is by practicing a mantra. And the very simplest version of that would be to say to yourself, I am enough. And if you truly believe that, then you are enough just the way that you are. You don't have to be better. You don't have to be different. That doesn't mean that you're not striving for improvement over time, but that you just feel good about who you are and what you're doing. You're not needing to then overcompensate, and you don't have this fear of being found out. You just believe that you are enough. The second piece is thinking about, do you judge yourself? Are you critical with yourself? Because if you are, then you probably expect other people to also be critical of you. And that leads you to maybe being a little bit less vulnerable. So what happens if you're this really high achiever and you have this importance of contributing? That's a good trait to have. But what happens when you're struggling, when you make a mistake? Obviously, there might be this self-critical or negative talk that happens inside of you, but there might also be this fear that other people will judge you. And so one of the things to consider is, how do you think about other people when they're vulnerable? Do you judge them, or do you have compassion for them? If you have compassion for other people when they are struggling, then you can flip the tables and imagine that they're probably having some compassion for you when you're struggling. And so if you come at it from that point of view, maybe that will allow you to reach out and seek social support when things are difficult for you. And that's another version of self-compassion. So think about how to change your belief by saying the mantra, I am enough. Think about how you talk to yourself and maybe insert a little bit more kindness rather than judgment, and reach out to others for support when you need it the most. And this can help you be more compassionate with yourself and will really help you feel like you have more security, more safety, and feel better about yourself rather than have that sense of inadequacy really driving the ship. So once again, I'm Dr. Sharon Grossman, and I hope this was helpful. And until next time, take good care.